Joining us now, the great Katie Pavlich, townhall.com editor, Fox News contributor. You'll be on the 5 later, and then Gutfeld tomorrow night, so that's terrific. We will all benefit from that. Katie, the early goings in the court trial for the so-called Steele dossier, Fusion GPS, the phony Trump collusion baloney. The first witnesses, Laura Siago, basically admitted that they sat down, took this phony information, and then decided to sell it to the media and to the FBI. And anyway, what you think of that?
Well, we now have court testimony that confirms what has been alleged by conservative media, by Republicans on Capitol Hill about what this purpose was of this information given to the FBI by Michael Sussmann, who claimed that he wasn't working on behalf of any kind of client or political campaign. He simply wanted to tell the FBI that he had concerns about President Trump being connected falsely to, Russian banks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now we know under oath that they were doing this purposely as a political move to give the Trump campaign an October surprise. They were using the FBI as a political weapon against the Trump campaign. And you have to go back to that summer and remember the text messages going back and forth between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page saying, we have to stop Trump, he cannot be president. And then they, of course, were underneath Andrew McCabe, who also was given this information, which the FBI knew or now knows was false by Michael Sussmann, why we're having this trial. So this is bigger than just the one attorney who was working for Hillary Clinton. One thing I saw in those text messages yesterday is that James Baker, who worked for the FBI, General Counsel, asked, got this text message from Michael Sussmann saying, I have information I want to give you. I'm worried for the Bureau. They need to look into it. I'm not working for a client. And James Baker writes back and says, okay, great, come to my office. Do you have a badge? Well, why is it that an attorney working for a political campaign had a badge to the FBI? I mean, that brings up all kinds of questions. And they say that it's because he was doing a lot of work with law enforcement, but it's in the messages that he says, I have a badge, I'll come to your office. And that brings up a whole bunch of questions about why these political operatives for campagns had access to the FBI at all.
I had to give my White House pass up the day I left.
Yeah, well.
I don't have any badges.
You're not a lawyer, apparently, for the Clinton campaign.
That is true. Sussmann lied, we know now, factually, we know, in the court hearings and in the subpoena work ahead of time by John Durham. He was on the payroll of the Clinton campaign because he had said he wasn't to the FBI's general counsel. I mean, that is the heart of this whole thing, right, was just a smear campaign.
Well, and before, the argument was, well, it was just a he said situation. There wasn't any proof, but through the discovery process, they have found these text messages of Michael Sussmann saying, I want to talk to you. I'm not coming to the FBI on behalf of a client. And that's where they're getting him on the lying to the FBI situation. But, to be perfectly honest, this situation of them charging him with lying is a very minor charge compared to the damage that they did to the country. The special counsel investigation that was prompted as a result of this, the October surprise that was based on an allegation that was not true, that they're now admitting in court was to be used as a political weapon against the Trump campaign, and using the FBI to do it.
The damage to the people, to the voters, to the country, the damage to President Trump and his presidency.
Right, and to the reputation of the FBI, the law enforcement agency that Americans thought they could depend on to be fair and to treat the law equally and to follow the facts. But instead, they were following information that was given to them through Hillary Clinton political operatives.
Incredible, Bruce. Incredible.
It's corruption.
Last one, quickly. The misinformation board is dead. But, Katie, I just want to posit.
It's just sleeping.
You're right. You're an old hand in the Washington world. They'll be back with more, won't they? Try to control free speech, the Bidens?
First, I think it's important to point out that the federal government and congressional offices on Capitol Hill all have a communications division. They're the ones who put out what the government thinks is the proper information they want the American people to consume. It's then the job of the media to vet that and push it back. But yes, they will absolutely try to revive this disinformation campaign because they've said that it's key to protecting democracy.
We will see it again. Katie Pavlich, good luck on the 5. Good luck on Gutfeld. Thank you for coming on our set. I'm Kudlow.